everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. Let's go to Bloomberg. They say FCC is planning a December vote to kill net neutrality rules. There's a raging debate a couple of years ago about net neutrality, resulting in the net neutrality rules. A couple years back, there was a push to have speed lanes for the internet. And net neutrality is kind of it's a double-edged sword. I'll get into it as I go over the highlights of this article, but the fact that Chairman Pai, FCC Chairman Pai, is going to begin the process of overturning this net neutrality structure, it's going to change a lot of things. So we'll go over that as we go. It says the U.S. Federal Communications Commission next month is planning a vote to kill Obama-era rules demanding fair treatment of web traffic and may decide to vacate the regulations altogether, according to people familiar with the plans. The move would reignite a years-long debate that has seen Republicans and broadband providers seeking to eliminate the rules, while Democrats and technology companies support them. The regulations passed in 2015 bar broadband providers such as AT&T and Comcast from interfering with web traffic sent by Google, Facebook, and others. Now, Ajit Pai, the FCC chairman chosen by President Donald Trump in April, proposed gutting the rules and asking for public reaction. Now, the agency so far has taken in more than 22 million comments on that matter. Pai plans to seek a vote in December. And because the Republicans hold office, then they have the majority in the FCC, so they'll win by 3-2. Now, one of the people said or a source for this article said that Pai may call for vacating the rules except for portions that mandate internet service providers inform customers about their practices. One of the more severe options that would please broadband providers. And they argue that the FCC rules aren't needed and discourage investment, in part because they subject companies to complex and unpredictable regulations. Democrats and technology companies say that the rules are needed to make sure telecommunications providers do not favor business partners or harm rivals, because that's never happened before, you know. You can see how this is setting up. And unfortunately, we're going to see a lot of push for the internet to be regulated as a utility, which it is now. Currently, it's considered a utility. And as such, it is regulated by the government. Now, in this case, it's regulated in such a fashion that says that nobody can be favored over anybody else. Clearly, though, you can see that the control doesn't necessarily have to be internet access. They want you to access the internet. They want you to be able to access propaganda. They want you to be able to unplug and disconnect, watch your Netflix, watch your Amazon, and I'm not discouraging it at all. But they want people to disconnect and not pay attention. What better way to do that? Of course, it seems to me that people are either that's what they do with their time on the internet, disconnect, have fun, or they spend it on the alternate end of the spectrum, very little fun and very much, working, researching, investigating, all that kind of stuff. So very two opposite sides of the spectrum. But I can certainly see how this is going to be a pretty big fight over the next couple of years, because you will start to see these telecommunication providers start to offer speed lanes, faster internet, for more money, which we already see sort of, because you can get lower bandwidth, you can get more bandwidth. But this is talking about, implementing Internet 2. So you're going to have the new internet, and then you're going to have legacy internet. You pay more for Internet 2. There's a lot that goes into this. Now, it goes on to say that abandoning bipartisan net neutrality principles threatens to kill the streaming revolution and will hurt businesses large and small who are mitigating to the cloud at record speeds. This is Chip Pickering, the chief executive officer of Encompass Trade Group, with members including online shopping giant Amazon.com and video streamer Netflix. It continues, it says, Chairman Pai's affection for AT&T and Comcast holds great political risk for President Trump and the entire Republican Party. So you can see it's very bipartisan, not bipartisan, very partisan. There's a lot of divide in this. And not just politically, but also, you know, like I just mentioned. You got the people that just want it for fun. You got the people that are really trying to research stuff. That's the kind of things they want to restrict. They don't want you to be able to access that information, all that research, that networking, all that kind of stuff. They're trying to, but again, access to the internet doesn't really do that. They have their social media control platforms now in place where they can censor anybody, anything. All of your life is now being put out there on the internet, and then it's being scooped up. It's being collected by facilities like Buffdale, Utah, and they can look into your life at any time they want. I mean, this is already the capabilities that exist. So, interesting. FCC plans a December vote to nix net neutrality rules. Will that end up working against us? Only time will tell. I can tell you, again, it's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, you're going to have more access. If you want to pay more, you're going to have more access to speeds you probably have never seen before in America. Probably the stuff they've got in Scotland. You might think that your access to the internet is going to be restricted as far as going to websites. That's not true. What ends up happening, though, is if a company wants to spend more money to get more bandwidth, then, or maybe there's some collusion going on. Who knows? We see it in banking. We see it in Wall Street. That might be affected that way. But as far as freedom of the internet and all that kind of stuff, I don't really see that changing. But the structure and how it's accessed, how it's used, that's going to change. So only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, under a Republican government that favors large corporations, you can bet that they'll do something to help boost their profits. And I think this is exactly what they're going to do now. Help the telecommunications giants regain their prominence by throwing a bone at them. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. # Wake the Flock Up. Have a great day, everybody.